In the 2nd century of the 4th era of Tamriel, the world nearly ended. Luckily for the world, and everyone that happened to be living in it at the time, the Dragonborn of legend was able to battle Alduin the World Eater and defeat him, just as prophecy demanded. However, that is another story entirely. The subject of this tale is not the Dragonborn, and while wishing him all due respect, it's a good thing for the world that the mantle of prophecy was bestowed on someone else, because otherwise we'd probably all be doomed. But you see, right around the time the Dragonborn re-emerged into the world of mortals atop High Hrothgar and was reputed to have uttered the words, "I need a holiday," hundreds of miles away, a young lad in the mountains of High Rock was being ushered to his first job. In the Hrothgarian mountains, news travels slowly. To be fair, almost everything travels slowly in the Hrothgarian mountains. Even time itself seems to slow from a gallop to a leisurely trot once it crosses the border. There had been talk of dragons in Skyrim, of course, but Hrothgarians are a people skeptical of the outside world and very fond of their traditions. One such tradition was that dragons didn't exist anymore. Besides, the Nords were well known to exaggerate things from time to time. The truth, they reckoned, was probably that some larger-than-average lizard had escaped an alchemist's lab and wandered into Whiterun by accident. In a small village at the base of one of the highest peaks, the aforementioned boy was off to see the local wizard. Wizards are very respected in High Rock, even with the Mages Guild disbanded long ago. Magic users command a certain respect in that neck of the woods. Indeed, the local mage frequently commanded as much respect as the local baron. Sometimes more, actually, because it has to be said, wizards have a habit of living much longer than barons, and barons can't turn you into a toad. The boy turned to his father. "Dad, am I going to learn magic?" He was positively vibrating with childish excitement, as if it was Saturnalia morning and there were unopened presents with his name on them under the new life tree. Yes, probably. I reckon so. Yeah, of course," replied the father, with the tone of someone who knew the presents contained a dodgy jumper and some socks. The boy's name was Nils. The father's name was ultimately not important, but what was important was that he'd decided to apprentice his son to the local wizard. This was an unusual thing for a Nord family to do, but the father had his reasons. The problem with young Nils was that unlike other young Nord boys and plenty of Nord girls as well, come to think of it, he didn't have an awful lot of interest in getting into fistfights, hitting things with wooden swords, and learning an honest trade like blacksmithing, farming, or hitting things with real swords. Nils spent an awful lot of time wandering around in the woods with a wooden stick instead of a wooden sword, and instead of merely pulling the wings off butterflies for the fun of it like any ordinary child, Nils would take the wings, put them in a bowl along with other questionable ingredients, then mix them up, come home, and present his parents with what he very optimistically called a potion. While the other children were busy pretending to be ancient Nords slaying make-believe dragons together, Nils was instead busy pretending to be a mage and setting fire to very real bundles of hay with very real matches. When this was discovered, he proudly declared himself to be a pyromancer and ran off back into the house laughing maniacally. His father had no idea what a pyromancer was, but it can't have been anything good, he reckoned. This, of course, was only a week since Nils had emptied a bucket of ice over his mother and proclaimed himself to be something called a cryomancer. His parents discussed this at length, and eventually decided that there was nothing else for it. He'd have to be sent to work for the wizard, and his younger brother would have to inherit the family farm. Young Nils simply wasn't right in the head. So off the boy went. The wizard was only too happy to have a new servant about the place, his previous one having met with an unfortunate accident in the alchemy room of the tower. The scorch marks were still taking some effort to remove. At first, Nils was in awe. A real wizard with real potions and a real staff and a real stuffed alligator hanging from the ceiling. Then the work started. Years passed. Away across the mountains in Skyrim, the Dragonborn finally got his holiday, and then forgot to come back from it, disappearing entirely from the pages of history. The civil war between the Imperials and Stormcloaks ended, or at least dwindled to a few skirmishes in the hills. The universe, in general, breathed a sigh of relief, and then found itself full of vigour and a newfound love for existence, like someone who's just narrowly avoided death at the hands of a runaway cart. An atmosphere of dread began to lift slightly, and strange magical things began to creep back into the world from their hiding places in the depths of the earth and the lights in the sky. Even the dragons eventually moved on. Regrettably, when the ancient Parthenax approached his fellow dragons with his way of the voice, he was met with all the enthusiasm of someone handing out salad at a barbecue. But eventually, the dragons became quite bored of the frozen north and began to spread out over the rest of Nirn, eventually becoming a rare sight over the peaks and plains of Skyrim itself. For the Nords, life went on more or less as usual. The return of the World Eater had ultimately been a cosmic event they witnessed from a mostly safe distance. When the Dragonborn returned from Sovngarde and declared himself victorious, they generally just decided to take his word for it, and then got back to their usual drinking, fighting, and singing. Even they had to notice, though, that the world had a little more colour in it, and people had a bit more spring in their step, even though it was difficult to explain why. Meanwhile, back in the Rothgarian Mountains, Nils had just about managed to get over the horrible meeting of his expectations versus reality. While the wizard often claimed that, yes, someday I shall teach you magic when you are ready, Nils had discovered and gotten used to the fact that being the wizard's apprentice generally meant he spent most of his time cleaning stables, cooking, and chopping firewood. This probably sounds very disappointing, and it was, but as he grew older, Nils settled quite comfortably into the role. His days were spent in manual labour and enjoying the fresh air, and his evenings were spent in the tavern with a flagon of mead or two. He was, after all, a Nord, and there's an old saying that while you can take the Nord out of Skyrim, you can't take Skyrim out of the Nord. Sometimes the local wolves would trespass on the premises during a particularly hungry winter. And while Nils still didn't have much interest in swinging swords around, he did get quite proficient at swinging a shovel. As time rolled slowly by like a tumbleweed, Nils grew slightly more impatient. One evening at the tavern, a couple of warriors from Skyrim that were passing through regaled the villagers with tales of the Civil War and the legend of the Dragonborn. Now, while Nils certainly had no interest whatsoever in attempting to slay dragons or battle stormcloaks, tales of the world beyond the mountains stirred something deep within him. It was that peculiarly Nordic quality that sometimes possesses people to leave their perfectly warm, safe homes, grab a shield and axe, hop into a boat, and sail over the horizon for no good reason whatsoever. Nils became aware for the first time that his life was going nowhere, and he didn't like it. He'd always wanted to be a wizard, like the ones in the old tales, who could conjure blizzards with a snap of their fingers, turn people into frogs, and talk to the spirits of the dead. He wanted to see the ancient places of the world, uncover the mysteries of the universe, battle ancient demons on precarious bridges, and more importantly than all of this, wear a pointy hat. He asked the travellers from Skyrim if there were any mages where they came from. They replied that there weren't. Well, aside from the ones at the College of Winterhold, that is. Nils had heard about that place. He'd read about it in one of the dozens of books he wasn't technically allowed to touch in the wizard's chambers. Later that night, he marched back up the hill to the tower, light of determination in his eyes. He'd been seized by that same spirit of ambition that had once caused his ancient ancestors to cross the sea from Atmora, build a city on a hill, and murder lots of elves. He blustered into the wizard's chamber and declared loudly that he was fed up of cleaning stables and cooking and chopping wood. He demanded to be taught some magic right now, or he'd be very cross. The wizard said nothing for a moment, and then began laughing. He turned in his chair to face Nils and decided to clarify things once and for all.
Boy, don't be ridiculous. I was never going to teach you any magic at all. You simply don't have the temperament for it. By the gods, you're a Nord. Nords are terrible at magic. Might as well try and teach a bear how to read and write, he snorted. Now, go and clean the pots in the kitchen before you turn in for the night, and I shall forget this little outburst if it happened.
The wizard felt quite pleased with himself. He'd put the little scrote in his place. That would teach him. He turned back to his books. Then, something very unexpected happened. Something very unexpected and rather violent. If steam could come out of a man's ears, it would have been shooting out of Nils's right about then. The ancestral Nordic spirit of elf-slaying and mead-drinking suddenly found itself in the driving seat, and it did what was only natural. It reached for a weapon. That weapon turned out to be a broomstick, but it was swung with the force of a battle hammer. The smug wizard, who had ironically considered himself one of the foremost minds of the School of Divination, never saw it coming. At this moment, in Sovngarde, at the eternal banquet table in Shaw's Hall, there came a cheer from the section that belonged to Nils's Nordic ancestors.
"Finally!"
cried a voice.
"Someone in this family has decided to do something noteworthy."
Another voice, speaking in an inexplicably different accent, shouted back in between taking bites out of a regenerating ox leg.
"Don't be so sure, Ivor. He might get eaten by the first trolley bumps into outside of town. He's a scrawny lad."
"Aye," countered a third ancestor, "but the lad has spirit. You can see it in his soul."
"Pah!"
exclaimed the second ancestor.
"He wants to be a wizard. A wizard. Nothing good ever came of magic."
The first ancestor took exception to this.
"Don't be daft. Back in my day, we Nords were bloody good at magic, you know. It's all a matter of perspective anyway. Magic doesn't kill people. People kill people. Oh, don't start with that again. Magic doesn't kill people. I tell that to great Uncle Festus."
On a nearby bench, a pair of smoking boots clicked their heels in agreement.
There you see, he agrees with me."
The third ancestor sighed wearily. The downside to the paradise of Shaw's feasting hall was that it was really just one big, never-ending family reunion. It had been a bit dull ever since the Dragonborn had walked in a while ago, fallen through a gap in the floor, and then clobbered Alduin with a hammer. Now that was a hoot. Back down on Tamriel, dawn was breaking over the Rothgarian mountaintops. Nils, with a pack full of provisions, a few potions, and a book or two, was walking past his old family home, heading east. His father was outside milking the cows at the time and called out to his son. "Where are you off to?" "I'm going to the college," replied Nils as he disappeared over the next bump in the road. His father sighed and shook his head, like he was supposed to figure out which college he meant. It's a catchy tune, that one. It's going to be stuck in my head all week. Well, I never could remember the words to it. Anyway. Okay, climbing hills is pretty hard work when you've spent the last 10 years or so working in a wizard's tower. But on the bright side, once you get up to the top, the view's quite nice. Alright, anyway. Come on, let's go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Nearly there. Come on, Helgen. Give me your mead and somewhere to sit down and have a little bit of a rest? Oh. Don't tell me they burned it down again. I thought they repaired the place over the last few years. I guess, well, the fires are still burning, so clearly, yes, they burnt it down again. Okay. Just my luck. Oh, well, you know what? It all makes a little more sense now, because the guy I asked for directions, he did seem to find something very, very amusing as he was walking away. He kept laughing into his sleeve, and I think I know why. Yes, very funny. Yes. Direct the hapless foreign traveller to the burned-down town. Why don't you? Yeah. Brilliant. Fantastic. That's a good thing the place seems completely deserted, at least. At least I hope it's completely deserted, because if it's not, there might be some bandits here that want to kill me or something. I assume this must be the work of bandits or something, anyway. Oh, look, a charred and burnt corpse. Hi. Bad luck, old chap. Well. I was really looking forward to that mead, too. Alright, well, let's see. Next village along the way from here is Riverwood, if I recall, which I think is that way, if I can read a map properly. I probably can't read a map properly. I haven't had much call for it until recently, it has to be said. Maybe there's a few bits and bobs I can scavenge while I'm here. My coin purse is completely empty. If it wasn't completely empty, I wouldn't be here. I would have been taking a cart all the way straight to Winterhold instead of walking up through Helgen. Hi. Oh, speaking of carts. Yeah. Under nicer circumstances, I would have liked to have paid for a lift from you, but, this thing doesn't look like it's going to be going anywhere anytime soon. Finding out the obvious there, but hey. Oh well. If there's anything in here. You know, it bears pointing out that, the Nords do make wonderfully fire-retardant houses, don't they? I suppose Nordic culture and society in general would not have lasted very long if we hadn't figured out how to make fire-retardant wood. You know? All these thousands of years of making wood huts, you know. It's very rustic and it's very cozy, and I do like it. You know, who wouldn't, right? But, it would have all burnt down very quickly if we hadn't figured that out. You know. Oh, look. A couple of gold coins. Very nice. Right, well. Anything in this wardrobe? A ragged cap. I'll pass. I'm fine, thanks. A kettle. No, I don't think so. Don't have much need for a kettle right now, I've got to say. Well, there's really nothing here. Nothing here except for a large stuffed fish, anyway. I'm afraid you are not of much use to me. At least not right now. If I can't get my hands on a stuffed alligator, I might have to settle for you. I might be back for you. Well, there's not much here, is there? Oh, hello, Mr. Fox. You're feeling brave today. Stands to reason, I suppose there's probably not much here, because, I mean, whoever burned this place down probably nicked everything. Except for these tomatoes, obviously. Although, I'm not surprised, because they look a bit off-colour, if you ask me. But then maybe that's what Skyrim tomatoes are like. You look a bit lost. Of course, I'm sure he's looking at me and saying exactly the same thing, and he wouldn't be wrong. Oh dear, what a mess. Helgen discovered. Yes, I noticed. Nice to have confirmation, though. Hello. I suppose you could tell me the way to Riverwood. No? Look at me standing here talking and joking with burnt corpses. That's not creepy at all, no. Oh dear. Well, there's the gates. There's the fort. Worth checking inside the fort. Oh, what if there's people in there still? People that don't want any witnesses, I mean. Then again, there could be something in here I can nick. Not that I'm really into the practice of nicking things, you understand. It's just, I really need some money at the moment, and, well, no one's using anything here. Oh, go on, then. I suppose if there's anyone in here, I can just leg it and hope for the best. Please don't let those be my famous last words. Alright, well. Candles and stuff are still lit, which is potentially a bad sign, actually. Hello. A dead Stormcloak. Maybe it was the Stormcloaks that did this. Oh, you know what? Actually, I'll take that axe. I've got a dagger, but an axe is certainly an upgrade. Not that I'm very good at using them. We've also got a wooden... Yeah, that's probably more my speed, isn't it? A wooden sword. And a bow. I don't think so. Not really my thing. Not a lot is my thing, really. I suppose shovels. Yeah, I'm alright with a shovel. I don't see any shovels lying around, though. Well. Maybe it was the Stormcloaks that burned this place down. I thought... Well, I suppose, yeah, no, they did say a few of them were about the place still. Even though Ulfric died ages ago. Some people just don't know when to quit, I suppose. All these burning torches, and I can't actually take any of them. Some very inconsiderate person seems to have nailed them to the wall. That's just not on, if you ask me. And okay, right, the structure's not entirely stable, it must be said, yes. Hopefully I don't get crushed to death by tons of falling rock. Oh, well, hello, look at this. Kitchen's relatively well stocked. Big old fireplace. Grab a few bits. I got some soup. I got a few bits and pieces, but more's always good. You say there's no such thing as a free lunch. I suppose we'll find out the answer to that by the time I get out of here. Let's see, what have I got in my bags anyway? You'd think I'd be able to remember, having travelled all the way here with it, but I feel this compulsion to look in my inventory for some reason. Let's see, this book of Festivals of Skyrim. Of all the books I could have randomly grabbed off the shelf before leaving, apparently I went for this one. I just saw the word Skyrim on the cover and thought it might be useful. Only later did I discover it was a catalogue of festivals, which is really not very useful at all. But hey, hawker loaf. An acquired taste. I'm kind of getting there with it. Let's see, some lockpicks. And... oh, well, I still have one torch, but more's always good. Vegetable soup and a couple of bottles of wine. Not very much of a wine person myself, though, really. I kind of prefer mead, but hey. Oh, hello. Ah, salt. Now, a traveller from Skyrim I met along the way did tell me that in Skyrim, salt is extremely valuable. The Blue Book of Riddles. It's extremely valuable. There's still rolls of paper. So I'm going to take his word for it. I'm going to grab every bit of paper and every bit of salt I can find. I'm going to need that paper at some point anyway. Not right now, though. As soon as I find somewhere that's not completely burnt down, so I can sit down and actually do some studying, I might have a use for that paper. Apple. I suppose so. I suppose if all the charred corpses can't put my appetite down, virtually nothing will. Okay, what else have we got? Oh, yeah, more salt, healing potions, somebody spilled some strawberry jam all over the place. Very good. Yes, it's definitely strawberry jam. Alright. Still nobody around. I should probably be more cautious, really, shouldn't I? But, I suppose if anyone else was here, I probably would have heard them by now. Hello. Didn't see anyone else pass this way, did you? Oh, gosh, okay. Well, at least you seem to find it quite funny. Oops. Okay, more jam. What do we got here? Another dagger. The Book of the Dragonborn. Rather not. Sick of hearing about that guy. Okay, what else? Healing potions, lockpicks. Actually quite useful, that. Lovely, a dungeon. Although I suppose, what good castle doesn't have a dungeon? Brief History of the Empire, Volume 1. I can live without that. Read it already. Besides, it's not very up to date. It's almost as if about 200 years ago someone stopped updating all of the books in Tamriel. It's kind of odd, really. It's been like one or two that's been written since then, but it's like everybody wrote everything before the Fourth Era, and then after that, everyone just kind of got fed up of writing and stopped. It's a little peculiar, honestly. But it is what it is. Hang on a minute. Did I see something in one of these cages? Yes, I did. Yeah. Hello, dead gentleman. Is that dead? I think he's a mage, judging by the clothing. Do I really want to take the clothes of a corpse? That's kind of disgusting. Although one would argue playing with the skull of some poor tortured prisoner is probably a little bit disgusting too, but I have standards, you know. Besides, when I get to the college, they'll probably give me a uniform and everything anyway, you know how it is. Although that gold coin on... those gold coins on the floor I wouldn't mind having. Come on, then. There's always rubbish at this. Ah! Come on. I got 10 lockpicks. Let's try to get this thing open without... Everyone else in the village. Brilliant at this. For some reason, everybody just seems to grow up learning how to lockpick. But not me. Well, I tried, but never was my... Ooh, hello! A spell tome. An honest to goodness actual spell tome. You would have thought I'd have grabbed a few of these on my way out of the Wizard's Tower, but I didn't really have the foresight at the time. I was distracted, shall we say. I grabbed a book on festivals of Skyrim instead. Yes, I know. I'm an imbecile. I've come to terms with this. But nevertheless, I do have a spell tome now. Marvellous. I'll have to study this later. Very carefully. Because there are a few things about magic I do know. You can't help but pick them up, you see, when you work with a wizard for a decade. And one of the things I learned was that the problem with spell tomes is that... Well, let me put it like this. Most books... You open them up, and you see what's inside, correct? Yes. The problem with spell tomes is that, with some of them, they open you up and see what's inside you, if you're not careful. So... Nothing on you worth taking. I'll take that, though. Fine work, skeleton. Fine work. Your friend over here or anything? No, just bone meal. Bone meal's probably useful for potion making and stuff, isn't it? But, no, it's fine. I won't. It's a little grotesque. I can deal with grotesque, but only if there's a really good reason for it. Besides, I'm going to get to the college soon, and then they'll teach me all of this stuff. And, yeah, there's no use preemptively going around grinding up random people's bones when you don't know what they're going to be used for. That would just be daft, wouldn't it? And it's... My goodness, it's dark down here. All right, let's where's my torch? Okay. Right. That's better. Wow, okay. I have very little idea as to what purpose any of this serves, the substructure here, but it's fascinating nevertheless. Just go anywhere. Goes under there. Still no real evidence of what happened here, honestly. Aside from the dead Stormcloak I found upstairs. That looks like it might be flammable. I should probably be careful. Alright, what have we got here? Oh, hello! Well, whatever happened here, it clearly happened recently, because all the torches and candles are still burning, so... Just there's nobody here. Although, as I said, I hope there's nobody here. Because, yeah, well... If anybody's still here, they probably don't want any witnesses. See, curiosity is beckoning me onwards, and yet common sense is telling me you seem to be descending deeper and deeper into a system of caves, when really what you should be doing is going back to the surface and finding a way to Riverwood. But on the other hand, I keep finding very generous skeletons. Oh, I'm under here. Oh, okay. This is what I wanted to do, though, right? This is the whole reason I left. I wanted to go out into the world to precisely do exactly this: crawl around in caves underground, finding skeletons with potions and gold and things. Well, not quite. I mean, this place is a little bit pointless. Give me a proper ancient ruin or something, though. Oh, yeah. Now, then we'd be talking. Oh. Oh! Crumbs. Okay. Big spiders. Not very happy. Not good. Ouch. 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 Okay, they're poisonous. Okay, I've seen enough. I've seen enough. That's good. That's good for me. Curiosity satisfied. Spiders. This is what it all leads to. I think I can hear clicking feet as well. I should get out of here. Well, that certainly could have gone worse. Did catch a big gob of poison in my face from a giant spider. But on the other hand, I found some potions. I found some gold. I found an axe. And made some friends. Yes. Can't call skeletons friends, Nils. Start calling skeletons friends. Next thing you know, you're in a cave somewhere, cackling maniacally to yourself, surrounded by dead people and dead things, going on about how you're going to teach the mortals a lesson. So let's not call the skeletons friends. Let's call the skeletons skeletons. Well, it is an impressive view up here, isn't it? My goodness. And that would be what I'm talking about. That's a big old ruin up there. Big old ruin. Very big ruin. Really, really big ruin, actually. Probably full of nasty traps and things, and maybe bandits or worse. We can work up to it. We can work our way up to it. That's fine. It's fine. That's good. I have this uncontrollable urge to pick flowers for some reason. I just don't understand why. Is that? I thought it was a wolf for a second there, and I nearly cacked myself. Hello.
I've been hunting and fishing in these parts for years.
Does that mean you've got anything for sale?
Take a look.
You have a cave bear pelt, an elk hide, some hawker meat, snow bear pelt. Where on earth did you find a snow bear around here? Venison, wolf pelt. We got anything I could sell you? Well, I've got stuff I could give you for free. But that'd be a bit stupid of me, wouldn't it?
Until next time.
Yeah, sure. Nice dog. Okay, well. I think this way leads to Riverwood. I sure as hell hope so. Now that was not a very dignified way to die, was it, Mr. Rabbit? You didn't even... Well, waste not, want not. You can keep the arrow, though. Okay, oh, there's another one. I was really kind of hoping I'd be able to buy some food. Hunting is not really my thing. I mean, hunting doesn't have to be your thing when you work in a wizard's tower, to be fair. Hunting's the sort of thing other people do. Then you just sort of go to the butchers and you buy whatever you need, right? I mean, it might have been a small village in the old Rothgarian mountains I used to live in, but we weren't complete savages, you know. Nothing savage about hunting, of course. I'm sure it's a very delicate art, which requires much finesse and practice and what have you. And finally, here we go. That's a relief. Lots of foxes around here. Foxes that are startling me slightly every now and again, because I hear small canine noises out the corner of my eye. And my mind starts to think wolves. And, yes, I've encountered a few wolves on my journey here to Skyrim. And, I only just survived, so... They breed the wolves a bit bigger and nastier around this neck of the woods, it seems. I've discovered that the hard way. Well, here we are. Riverwood. Finally a village that is not deserted and on fire.
Brodnar, nobody's gonna believe that your dog is a frostbite spider. And if they do, go kill him. That's not much of a prank.
Oh yeah? And what would you rather do?
I know where you can find some real frostbite spiders.
Just need to, yeah. What do you mean by raw materials?
Okay, now what?
Get her stomp.
I'm not sure you completely understand the concept of tag, Milado. But okay. What do we got? We got an inn? I think it's an inn. The Sleeping Giant. Inn, yes. Nice sign. What do we got? A trader? Yes, a trader. And a blacksmith. Very good. How much money do I have? I've got 60 gold. Let's pop in the trader.
Well, one of us has to do something.
I said no. No
Look,
adventure.
I don't want to interrupt, but I'm in a bit of a rush. I need to get to Winterhold.
The Riverwood Trader is still open. Feel free to shop.
Do you sell spells out of curiosity?
I think I have a few old spell books laying about. If you want more, you'll have to go to the College of Winterhold.
Well, that was the plan. Let's have a look. You sell paintings, apparently, for huge quantities of money. Lots of stuff, actually. Lots and lots and lots of stuff. Up to and including tomatoes and wooden bowls. And salt. 13 gold for salt! They weren't kidding! My goodness. Goat horns. Well, that's what you get with the general trader, I suppose. It's very general. Potions for an awful lot of money. This is all more than I can afford. I don't even know why I'm bothering to browse. Have I got anything I can sell you? Basically, my book on festivals of Skyrim, my spell tome, which I absolutely do not wish to part with. And that's kind of it that's worth anything. Great. Sorry to take up your time.
As if things weren't bad enough.
Continue your previous discussion. Don't mind me. Well. I could do with some extra money. I could really do with some extra money. There's no one around here I can do a bit of work for. Hello, who are you?
Did I see you talking to Sven?
What? Who?
Maybe not. Maybe. Never mind. But I would stay away from him if I were you.
Was Sven a wood elf hunter? Because otherwise, no. What's your problem? Why do I even care?
Good day.
I don't, is the answer. Hello, madam. You look like you have that sort of fierce expression on your face that says, I'm in charge here.
New to Riverwood? If you're looking for work, go see HUD at the mill.
HUD at the mill? Would that be large burly gentleman over there by any chance? What can you tell me about Riverwood?
It's my mill. Some folks thinks it's my town too, but it ain't. The Jarl in Whiterun owns the land and the town. I just pay the taxes.
Fair enough. Are you the accountant or something? Anyway, is there somewhere I could buy fresh supplies? I mean, there's the store I just went into, but
And by supplies, I suppose you mean weapons and armor?
no, I mean actual supplies, like a tent and some food. And
Until next time.
do I really look like the type that's looking for armor and weapons? Well, I suppose I don't have any armor and weapons, so that logically would mean that I'm more likely to want to be getting armor and weapons than someone who already has armor and weapons. Shut up, brain. Shut up. Hod. You look like a hod. You definitely look like a bit of a hod. No offense.
Here for work? Get an axe. Bring me all the wood you can chop.
Right. Okay, I understand how this works. Any old axe will not do the job. You have to get a very specific kind of axe. I'm an expert on this, you know. Let's see. Shame you're not willing to provide me with an axe. Oh, here we go. Here we go. This will do the job. Right. So. Right. Okay. I assume he means this and not this kind of wood and not like this kind of wood. Because that'll take a bit more work. Okay. Alright. Look at you now. You've traveled hundreds of miles and you're still chopping wood for someone else. Well. Yeah. That's depressing, isn't it? Well, it's fine. I'll be on my way to the college soon and I'll have an education with a capital E. And I'll learn magic. And I'll be a wizard. Yes, I will. Just gotta get there. That's the thing. And if I'm gonna get there, I'm going by carriage. And if I'm going by carriage, I need money. So chopping firewood it is. All right, let's see. There's one more, and then we'll go hand it over. Okay. How much have I got now? 10 pieces of firewood. All right. Okay. Hard.
Got business here in Riverwood, eh? There are worse villages.
Yes. That is a factually correct statement, one of which I went through on my way to getting here, in fact. Anyway, I have firewood to sell.
Honest gold for honest work. Farewell, kinsman.
Apparently honest gold doesn't amount to a lot. 10 gold. 10 gold. What am I doing? 70! I have a whole 70 gold! Sounds like a lot, really, doesn't it? 70 gold pieces, but, there's the whole business with the war with the Thalmor and the currency getting all debased and devalued, and, well, yeah, here we are, where a bottle of mead will cost you 150. It's a sorry state of affairs, it must be said. But, nevertheless, it means I need to chop an awful lot more wood, so let me get started. Okay, I have lots of firewood. To the point where I can't actually walk. I mean, can't walk, can't run! That's the... I've chopped so much firewood now. My grasp of language is beginning to suffer. Odd.
It's good to see you again.
I was only gone for like half an hour. But okay.
Honest gold for honest work. All right.
Oh, whole 30 gold. Don't spend it all in one place. Oh, I have a whole 100 gold now. That'll buy me maybe a bed for the night and 2 potatoes. So, but it's better than nothing. And, sun's getting a little low in the sky over there, so what is the time? Yeah, it's getting late afternoon now.
Did I see you talking to Sven? Maybe not. Maybe... Never mind. But I would stay away from him if I were you.
Alright, I'll stay away from this person called Sven, which I'm not at this point entirely convinced even exists. You madman. Alright, the devil are you looking at, chickens? Alright. Don't you bok at me. Alright. Alright, if I'm going to earn gold, it's not... If I'm going to earn more gold, it's not going to be through chopping wood. Practically at this point, I refuse on principle as well as, the financial infeasibility of it. So there was me being all like, oh, hunting, that's not my thing. Maybe it should become my thing, although I have no idea what I'm doing, and all I'm armed with is an axe. I suppose I can just run at the bunny rabbits and scream, and hopefully they'll drop dead out of fright. Who knows? Oh! Are those wolves? Yeah, those are wolves. Okay. Well, I mean, wolves have fur, pelts that I can get and sell, and yeah, okay, I've killed wolves before. This is fine. I mean, they were much smaller than this, but it's fine. It's fine. I've got a big axe, and I'm sure it can't be that hard. Well, they all seem to have scarpered now, actually. Oh, hello. But I have to say, there's actually quite a few of you. How many? 1, 2, 3, 4? Oh, hello. No, a couple of them are running off. Ooh, oh, crumbs. Okay. Oh, it's more than 4 of you, isn't there? This is not very fair, ganging up on me. I know that's sort of what wolves do, but you know, in the manual how to wolf, it kind of says gang up on them. But I don't appreciate it very much. I've got to be honest. When you... Oh dear. Oh no. Stamina pushed as well. Okay, it's time to run away. Yes, it is. Guards? Guards? I saw a guard or 2 around here, didn't I? I'm knackered. I really need to get more into shape. I seem to have trouble. You're getting out of here? What? Help? Oh god, I hit the wall. I hit the dog. I'm very sorry. Didn't mean to hit the dog. I'm sorry. Stump? Was that your name? Stump? Please leave me alone, Stump. Alright, mental note.
Here, so I'll go easy on you. But don't get on my bad side.
Alright, don't mess with the blacksmith or the blacksmith's kid. Right. Sorry about that, everybody. Sorry. Bit off slightly more than I could chew. Well, I suppose this must happen quite a lot around here, because none of them seem to be particularly bothered. Okay, yeah, sure. Another day, another tourist running into town being chased by wolves. It happens. It happens. Right. Okay. Maybe chopping wood has suddenly become a little bit more attractive. Oh, they've killed the chickens. How sad. Bloody chickens. And the cabbages have somehow ended up underneath the cart. I question the physics of that. Then maybe I shouldn't question the physics of it. Okay, well, I've got lots of... Right, let's see if we can make something of these pelts I've got. I don't like the sidelong glance he's giving me. Alright, if I use this? Hello?
Ain't every day we get visitors in Riverwood.
He said, accusingly. Can I use your forge?
I see no harm in it, if you have the skill.
Well, I wouldn't go that far.
The grindstone will improve your weapons. Use the table
your child seems to be trying to get your attention.
If you've got the raw materials, you can use the forge to make something new.
Okay, good, thank you. I really just need this thing, the tanning rack. Okay, leather. Yes, leather. More leather?
Whatever you need. Buy you smear if it's simple and strong. I can forge it.
I don't really need anything forged right now. Oh, I could make a cape. That's probably a good idea. I can make all sorts of things, as a matter of fact. If I have linen wraps, I can make a linen cape. Or I can make a fur cape, or a cloak, or whatever we're going to call them. Apparently there seems to be some sort of difference here. If I had a saber cat snow pelt, for example, or a saber cat pelt, or a bear pelt, and these are all things I don't want to get into a fight with. These are all things that I'm learning magic so that I can get into a fight with, and then snap my fingers and turn them into slugs or snails or something. Turn them inside out. You know, all that good stuff. Well. Look at me now.
You really think I can be a blacksmith someday, Papa?
Now I look like I'm meant to be traveling the wilds of Skyrim, as opposed to someone who sort of got caught out here by accident. Which I kind of did, really. The whole reason I'm out here is I got caught out here by accident because I ran out of money and couldn't pay the carriage driver, but hey. I need a mead.
Hey, watch it.
I'll teach
What?
you
Who?
to talk to me that way.
Oh.
Hope you're willing to back up those words with your fists.
Orgnar. Are you listening?
Yeah.
Well, that's how you know you've arrived in Skyrim, I suppose. Drinks, fighting, and music. Preferably all happening at the exact same time.
I guess you don't have potatoes in your ears after all. Just make sure we get a fresh batch of soup.
Come on in. Just stoke the fire. Take a seat and get the cold out.
My money's on the guy in the cap, and I was right. The big mustache. Right. Hello.
We got rooms and food. Drink, too. I cook. Ain't much else to tell.
You're going to call me an outsider in a minute, aren't you? And then say I'm not welcome here. Yeah, I'm, yeah, can I, you have an alchemy lab. Can I use that? Can I use the alchemy lab?
Long as you clean up. You know how to use it, right? Mix a couple of ingredients together, see what happens.
Yeah, that's...
A little wheat and blisterwort makes a healing potion, if you didn't know.
We have way to reduce the school of alchemy down to a single sentence. Yeah, just a couple of things, mix them together, see what happens. It's like, yeah, the sword play, swordsmanship, yeah, it's easy. You get the pointy end, and then you stab people with it. Jobs are good in. Okay.
Let's sate that appetite, hmm?
Yeah. I like thirst at the moment, I've got to say. Why do you have a pearl for sale? I don't know. Antlers? Don't tell me antlers is some kind of strange cuisine up here in Skyrim. What do you do with you? Do you grate it onto your food? Like a condiment? Whatever. Ale, alto wine. Do you have any mead? You do. Yes, you have really expensive mead, and you have regular. I'll take the regular mead. That's fine. Thanks very much.
All right then.
While we're here,
Need a room? Talk to Delphine.
Is there anywhere I can learn about magic?
Looking to blow yourself up?
No.
That's what magic does to you. There's
Sometimes.
a college in Winterhold that teaches magic, unless that blew up too. Be a lot safer just to have the Jarl's wizard teach you a thing or two.
Oh, really? The Jarl's Wizard, eh? That I hadn't considered. Well, I'll think about it. Cool. All right.
Until next time.
Well, actually,
I'm just the cook, lad. Until next time.
Oh, I was gonna. Never mind. I don't have much in the way of alchemical ingredients to muck about with, do I suppose? No, not really. Never mind. Maybe I should start collecting them. Nah, we'll just get to the college and then job done, right? Gonna need money for that first, though. If I'm gonna get money, it means I probably have to go kill a few more wolves or something. And if I'm gonna go kill a few more wolves, I'm gonna need some potions and... Right, yes, I see where this is going. Okay, well...
Make a batch of those fried potatoes. We can serve them with the ale.
Yep.
And you'll take care of it?
Don't I always?
I don't suppose I could convince you to take care of it now, could I?
No.
I should have guessed.
Okay.
You're that visitor been poking around.
Can I rent a room, please?
Sure thing. It's yours for a day.
And the night, too, I hope. Great. Which room? Is it this one? I think so. Don't tell me how I know, I just know. By looking at the bed that this is my one, as designated. Yes. Cool, alright, well. Alright. Oh, hello, there's a book up here. What we got? The Great War. A concise account of the Great War between the Empire and the Old Manary Dominion by Legate Justianus Quintius. Nothing concise about that title, mate, I've got to say. Author's note, Rise of the Thalmor. Oh, yeah. Yeah, enough people banging on about that wherever you go. I don't need to read a book on it as well, thank you very much. Blackbriar Mead's just laying there on the table. Sure they won't mind. They wouldn't have left it here if it wasn't, you know, part of the room service. Chest with nothing in it. Dump some of my stuff in there, I suppose, if I wanted to. And a bed! Okay, well. Let's have a seat, shall we? So let's see. This book. Well, what have we got here? Festivals of Skyrim. Compiled by, what was that? Isokus the Scribe. Quick list. Yeah, all the usual stuff. New Life Festival. Saturalia. Harvest End. 27th last seed. That's really soon, isn't it? I forget what day it is. It's soon, though. And you got Tales and Tallows. Witches Festival. Warriors Festival. What about the Wizards Festival? Why isn't there a Wizards Festival? But the Jesters have got a day. Witches and Warriors do. Look, the Merchants have got one as well. I don't know. Anyway, what I want is this. Sparks. I'm going to learn my first magic spell. Yes, I am. At least I'm going to try to. Okay. Let's give it a try, shall we? Should I go outside before I do this? Yes, I probably should. Be back later. Okay. Right. Yes, the carnage is still present. Very good. Somebody cleans it up eventually. Right. Let's go back up this path over here, shall we? Somewhere nice and out of the way. I'm not looking to blow myself up, as that gentleman so finely put it, but, stranger things have happened. I've never cast a spell before. I have no idea what will happen. But I read the instructions very thoroughly. Very quickly, admittedly, but very thoroughly, alright? So, okay, this will probably do. Right, okay. Right. Probably for the best I'm out of the way as well. The Nords and magic and... Yeah, I don't want to get burnt at a stake or anything, so, okay, right, let's do this. Sparks. Okay. Right, so... What do you think I can try it out on? Any of those, I don't know if it'll work if there's nothing for me to cast the spell on, you see. Any bunny rabbits around somewhere? Am I really going to try and electrocute a bunny rabbit? Why, yes, I am. It's in the name of science, don't you know? That makes it okay, you see. Alright, there. Alright, you. Okay. Mr. Fox. Behold! The mighty wizard Nils! Oh. Right, well then. That was, Okay. Now I'm extra glad there were no witnesses.